After watching one of my recent videos, a viewer commented they have much knowledge but struggle to practice becoming an armchair magician. Recognizing their case is not unique, I decided to address the issue and hopefully help others. The tools I'll share can be used for, but are not limited to magic and spiritual practices. They can help with any meaningful change. Banishing the Banishings. Since magic is the goal, it is also where to start. Considering the comment, the person seems to have focused on banishings for a while. If so, I suggest changing all banishings for invocations as soon as possible. Based on personal and others' experiences, excess banishings can have detrimental effects on introverts, which are many occultists apparently. And this includes apathy, no zest for life and accomplishment, or doing practical work and exploring new methods, encapsulating oneself, as I like to call it. If any of that resonates, I suggest adopting the operant model as soon as possible, and for that check my content and cheat sheet on it. Having a purpose. The purpose of magic is to increase the probability of something happening. Not having such a purpose defeats the purpose of magic. Given that, reflect on your life. Acknowledge the areas needing urgent improvement and begin working with the ruling forces as best and as regularly as possible. Formulating clear charges of intent and engaging proper correspondences won't be an issue if having a lot of knowledge, yet knowledge does not equal results. Knowledge does not equal results. Regardie said that, paraphrasing, reading does very little to help one realize one's divine nature. Like coding, content creation, entrepreneurship, bodybuilding, etc., magic is highly active and practical. Thinking you'll get results by reading is like thinking you'll become a coder or creator by merely reading about it, or that you'll build a head-turning physique by only reading books on training and nutrition. The method of science. Reading without doing is Hesed without Gibura. It leads to mental obesity. The mentioned 5 are highly scientific. The sole way to improve with each is by doing and practicing, testing your results relentlessly. Everything else is superstition, hypothesis, or philosophizing at best. In magic, this includes being mindful of how the effects translate in your life and learning to avail of / direct them with charges of intent and being a proper vessel. Plus, sticking to something requires getting good dopamine from actually making progress. Habits. A daily magical practice is a habit like any other. Simple as it is, having one requires building it. To do so, start small with what James Clear and BJ Fogg define as atomic and tiny habits. That means starting with something tiny to eventually grow into complete practical operations. If struggling with training, this can be a daily set of pull-ups, push-ups, or merely building the habit of going to the gym. If the struggle is with doing magic, start with a Kabbalistic cross and a daily declaration of intent, given at around the same time. Once they become non-negotiable, add another component. Whatever the case, keep in mind that relying on willpower equals losing and failing. Habits have 4 aspects: cue, craving, response, and reward. The cue reminds you of the habit, triggering your craving. For magicians, this can be tools and/or tablets, or something reminding you of the need to increase the probability of improving your situation. The craving is the desire to do so. The response is practicing, followed by the reward you may devise yourself or find in the fulfillment of staying on track. Randomness and Freedom. For those arguing habits prevent randomness and freedom, it is well known that those without habits have the least freedom. Also consider Nuit and Binah, providing structure and constraints for Hadith and Hokmah, and thus creating new possibilities and freedom. Systems. To remain in your life, habits, including daily spiritual practices, must be part of systems. Hence, you should incorporate them among other daily routines serving a meaningful purpose, an aspect of your true you. And if that's not the case, they likely won't stick. Systems and routines are essential because they allow us to do what we want without relying on willpower. A well-set morning routine is the beginning of that for many, so here's an example for occultists. Wake up early enough to catch the first hours of the day's planet. Attach such a habit to a morning cold shower and proper hydration. While this deserves a separate post, I suggest fasting for as long as possible and avoiding caffeine during the first hours, unless in a form of green tea, as you have naturally elevated cortisol. Attach that to a productive mindfulness practice, including meditation, bullet journaling, and writing your daily intentions and priorities. Eventually, this will become a routine to get you going. Keeping it for long enough develops new neurons via neuroplasticity. Once that happens, not sticking to it becomes problematic. Think of it as an anchor habit, bringing structure to your day right from the get-go. And another such is hitting the gym, but more on that later. Identity change. The key is becoming the person who does the things that you want. In this case, Magick. Apparently, that has the proper habits and routines. And while starting small is key, Magick itself can help. That's by bringing the suitable characteristics and personality traits. So here's an example. Identify which of the hard principles of Hesed and Gebura dominates your personality. Bring balance by working with the opposite extensively. This alone has the potential to improve things dramatically, especially when coupled with swapping out the excess banishings for invocations. Use the function Pure Sephiroth to modify your identity/personality, aligning it with your future/ideal self. Use Saturn to limit indulgence in junk thoughts and emotions. Use Jupiter to expand with new habits and fresh ideas. Use Mercury to organize the new habits into systems as Hesed emanates hot. Use Mars to eliminate/cut out bad habits, addictions, indecisiveness and doubt. Use Venus to reignite your passion for the work. Optionally, use a rite with rending the veil before the planets to see if that won't let them impact your nefesh more substantially. Do the previous with the signs of the zodiac. Lifestyle. While Magick can increase your chances of moving mountains, it won't do much on its own, let alone make up for poor lifestyle and habits. The lack of excitement and motivation for the work may be rooted in insufficient energy, and usually that's caused by an energy-sapping lifestyle. So, if any of the following is part of your sphere of being, I suggest starting by eliminating it. Eating junk, not exercising, struggling with hunger, obesity, and perhaps form of diabetes, watching porn and fapping, abusing drugs and alcohol, gossiping, and indulging on social media/mindless scrolling. All these rob energy, suffocating your ambition to accomplish anything, including practicing daily. Eradicating self-destructive habits requires what Gurdjieff defined as superhuman efforts. It is an enormous magical accomplishment many should actually start with, and it also goes hand in hand with getting in shape. The reason is that they are both very cathartic and spiritual, letting you transcend your older self and limitations. They are the philosopher's stone in action, but only those who have accomplished them can actually recognize that. They are also very magical, providing concrete evidence of causing changes to occur in conformity with your will. Plus, having a daily spiritual practice is a piece of cake for those eating right and training daily. A new stage. Magick entered your life at some stage, serving its purpose and hopefully providing value, not entertainment. While some people want it in theirs forever, others do not. And a typical example is when an adept reaches Philosopher's 4=7 in Golden Dawn-based orders. Based on my research, such individuals often want to do something completely different, and to those feeling similarly, I suggest Viktor Frankl's logotherapy. Unlike psychoanalysis focusing on the past, logotherapy looks into the future. It helps you determine the most appropriate expression of your true will or ikigai from now on. After figuring that out, you can decide if Magick is essential, following Marcus Aurelius' advice. Ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary? The goal isn't doing magic or self-improvement for the mere sake of it, but to utilize those as tools to help you with your life purpose, whatever that may be. But that's just my opinion. Let me know if you agree. Otherwise, like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel for more content, consider checking my digital products, music and books. Support me with either of the links in the description and, perhaps, the super thanks button, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for your time.